So it's a pretty important video today, but it is going to be a big, just like a psychology dump of lessons that I've been learning and things that I've been thinking about. I'm gonna make it also a honest trading update part 3. So I'm going to talk about where I'm at right now and what I'm doing. But the reason why I'm also making this video right now is because right now it's 2 p.m. so London Q zone just started and it is Monday and it is also US bank holiday. 2nd of September, US bank holiday all day today. So we are going to just take this time and to have the market right in front of us. And I was originally going to go and like edit videos or just do something else, but I thought, why not just sit here and look at the market and have the discipline and practice the discipline to not take a trade, whether we see a setup or not. Okay, we're just not going to take a trade today. So basically these days I've been writing on my community post. I don't know if you guys see that, but on my YouTube community post I've been saying that I really want to work on my psychology. I really want to work on reducing my losses. But what I've come to realize is that it's pretty difficult to just change your brain just like that, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I will literally watch a video, I'll have the lessons there and I'll go and do that mistake that exact same day. So it's difficult because you are trying to change your subconscious mind here, and it's really difficult to change habits that you've built up over the long time. You can't just change that within like one day, you know what I mean? Like you have to constantly repeat to yourself the good things, and you have to slowly erase away the bad habits that you have built up. Basically, one of the things that I've realized yesterday, or that I've been thinking about recently, is that sometimes you have to be able to look at the market and have moves, big moves like this, and just be okay that you missed it, or just be okay that your setup is not even there. Okay, so if you want to make consistent money in the market, you need to be able to just let the market do whatever it wants and only be there when your setup is present. You're looking at the market through the lens of, is my setup present or not, and should I be trading or not? You shouldn't be looking at the market in terms of, is there a big move here and can I capitalize off this move? You shouldn't be trying to capitalize off every move. You know, you have to be capitalizing off your edge, and that is what trading is about. It's about having an edge and just capitalizing off that edge, whether it's a big move or not. It's not about trying to catch every single big move there is in the market. And sometimes these big moves, your setup is just not even present in the first place. So you shouldn't be looking at that and trying to figure out how you can catch a setup there and trying to trying to mold your strategy into trying to catch every single big move. Do not care whether the market has had a big move or not, whether the market has been volatile or not. It literally does not matter. What matters is whether your setup is present or not. That is it. That is why today as well, I want to just sit here, observe this US bank holiday, and be okay with missing this if there is a move present. Because I realized that whenever I trade during US bank holidays, my probability is always lower. So I'm not going to sit here and trade this even if a setup is present. This is one of the times when even if a setup is present, I'm just not going to trade it because I want to build good habits. I want to continue on talking about this lesson because I think it really hit me, because it's just very uncomfortable for you to sit here and watch a big move happen, or I don't even know if there's a big move that happened today, but it's just uncomfortable for you guys to come to the realization that you're not going to catch every big move. Is that truth itself is quite uncomfortable. I don't know about you, but I think that is kind of uncomfortable to me. Like learning to be okay with just catching the moves that is within your strategy and within your system. I think that was a little bit like something new that I had to think about yesterday, because it's not that I used to be somebody who tries to catch big moves, but I think I will try to analyze every single move in the market. And I think sometimes it's okay for you to not analyze every single move in the market and only be analyzing your trades and analyzing your setup and whether your setup is actually in that move itself. Focusing on consistency instead of focusing on the money. And I really have realized that a lot, if not all, of our psychology problems stems from us wanting money, right? And this gets into the next segment of like, everybody comes into the market to make money. Nobody, unless like maybe like less than 1% of people would come into this thinking that they just like looking at the charts. You know what I mean? Like every single person who has come into trading does it for money. Whereas people who do things like playing sports, or people who do their degree, Some of them might do it for money, but people who actually master their craft often don't do it for the money, although they do end up making a lot of money, right? And the thing is, I realized that when they do make money, some of them, they just don't get phased at all, and you don't really see them care that much. I don't know about you, but some of you guys might be very into like athletes and stuff, so I want you guys to try and observe them. Do you think they're really doing it for the money? Like, sure, they might update their lifestyle, but every single time they're trying to score a goal, do you think they're thinking about the money that they can make? No, right? So I think that is the difference between traders and other people who are trying to master their craft, is that we are in this for the money, and it is the exact root of all of our psychology problems, because that causes us to not be focusing on the craft. That causes us to be focused on trying to make money, which will then lead us to have bad habits. And we have to realize that a lot of these people, they come into their thing for the love of their craft, and we have to be able to shift that, because majority of us don't come into it with that love of this craft. So you have to make that decision. Do you want to actually take time to learn this craft and become good at it and master it, and let money go for a while, for the time being? Let money go completely out of your goals, completely out of your sight for a while, and just purely focus on mastering your emotions, mastering discipline, mastering your setup, mastering this art of trading. Are you willing to take time to focus on that and let money go? Because if you are not, then it might be better for you guys to try something else. Go and focus on like dropshipping or something else, just something not trading, because this is a craft where the love of money itself will directly cause you to lose money. So I hope you get that into your brain. Another thing that I want to talk about is just focusing on the process instead of focusing on the outcome. And this again comes into this thing that I'm talking about. But we want to be focusing on building good habits, and Justin Williams says this all the time, but we really want to be focused on building good habits every single time that we're trading, over just trying to look at the outcome and what we're getting out of it. You have to be doing all these things that are sort of like counterintuitive, and you have to really sit there and reevaluate what you're in this for. Otherwise, it will just take a really, really long time. A lot of people don't want to admit that it will take some time for you guys to reevaluate your priorities when you're trading, because a lot of times you're coming in, your priority is on making money, but that priority itself is what is going to cause you to not make money. Really sit there and really try to think about it. Wrestle with yourself. Ask yourself questions. Ask yourself, what are you doing and what are you thinking? And what is your problem? You know, a lot of people, they come into the market and they keep losing and they have all these problems, but they don't take 1 second to think about it, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It doesn't matter whether you're taking trades and you're journaling and you're checking news and all that. Sure, like that might help, but if you're not reflecting and if you're not actually sitting there trying to find out what your problem is, then it's going to take a really long time for you to go and fix that problem, because you don't know what your problem is. An honest update on where I'm at right now is, I think I am pretty much a break-even trader for the past 2 months. It's been like down maybe 1% for the whole month for the past 2 months, so I would consider that pretty much break-even. And I think a part of it is also because of commissions, so that's why I would consider myself break-even. And I've also been doing a lot of reflecting, doing a lot of mental work, and I think there has to be a time when you have to be willing to go through that. It's either you get the lessons from the market and you just get slapped in the face over and over and over again. You just keep losing until you wake up, or you have to be the one to go and reflect yourself and to go through the uncomfortable bit yourself and journal yourself and change the mindset by yourself. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes people might argue that not every single trader has been through this phase that I'm going through right now of just journaling every single day. I'm literally writing down like pages and pages of notes every single day here, and just like I've been doing this for like a few days, just writing down notes every single day. So I'm just reminding myself, I'm just pretty much writing not the exact same thing, but just writing pretty much like similar things every single day. Build good habits, don't be focused on the money, and it's just like the same concept over and over again, but applying it to different bits of trading in different parts of your mind. and trying to really change your subconscious mind and trying to change the mind that operates your body. And unless you're willing, if you're not willing to do this, not willing to reflect and reframe, then I think what happens is you will just have to go through the long journey of losing until it rewires your brain. Because every time you lose, surely your brain gets like rewired a little bit to realizing that, like, wow, that is a habit that I shouldn't be doing, right? But I think I want to argue that not everyone has to go through that process of losing that many times. I think you can speed it up a little bit if you are actually like sitting down and reflecting on every single loss and taking the weight of that loss and amplifying it, you know? Because if you have a loss and you just kind of brush it off and you don't want to look into the problems, then that loss will only reframe your mind by a little bit, and you have to go through that loss so many more times for your brain to finally realize that, wow, that is a mistake that I cannot be making anymore, and that is a mistake that I don't want to make anymore because I've made it so many times. But if you make that mistake once and you're like, okay, that is really messed up, like you go and journal it down and you take that mistake in and you reflect on it and you try to identify the roots of that mistake, and then you dissect that mistake in terms of your psychology and look at all the beliefs that led you to that mistake and look at all the habits that led you to that mistake, and you make it known to your brain that all these habits and all these roots, the roots are here and all these reasons are causing you to make that mistake, then your brain is going to identify what to change faster, and you have to make less of these mistakes in order to become profitable, in my opinion. Like these mistakes where it's just like purely like dumb moves. I'm not talking about losses here, I'm talking about like just dumb moves. A win doesn't equal something good, doesn't equal building good habits, and a loss doesn't equal bad habits. Yeah, so this probably links with everything else that I've said in this video, but just because you won doesn't mean you have done something good. So make sure that when you're winning, you are building good habits, and make sure that when you're losing, it is also that you're building good habits, because sometimes you might be winning and building good habits, and that is the worst like square that you want to be in. Because if you're winning and the trade itself was a really bad trade, then you're rewarding bad behavior. Okay, so let me just draw this out and make this even more clearer. So I wanted to draw this out because there's this 4 segments here. Every single time you take a trade, it will land in these 4 areas. You either win or you lose, and you either have followed your system or you have not followed your system. So when you win and you followed your system, that's good. When you lose and you followed your system, that is also good. When you lose and you did not follow your system, that is a slap in the face, and it's not good, but at least you're not rewarding your behavior. And this kind of trades is what you need to minimize to get out of break-even trading. That's what I realized as well, because a lot of the losses that you take is when you're a break-even trader is because you're taking these losses that are here, you know. When you're a break-even trader, I feel like what you're doing is you're having these trades. You're having wins that are according to your system, losses that are according to your system, but you're also taking too many losses that are not according to your system. So minimize this to get out of break-even trading. And you know what is a bad loss with no system, okay? You know. So I don't need to go too much into that. But this is what unprofitable traders get into. And this is what you get when you have like beginner's luck and all that. If you're a break-even trader, you might even also get some of this where you win and it's not according to your system, but this is something that you really want to avoid, because this is rewarding the wrong behavior, and this is only going to make it harder for you to overcome your bad habits because you just got rewarded for them. Think of your brain like this. Every single time you build a good habit, it adds to this, okay? Every single day that you have a green day, meaning you build good habits, it adds to a day here. Every single time you have a bad habit day, it adds to that bit, okay? And whenever you have wins from here, all you're doing is adding to the bad habits. Whenever you have losses from here, all you're doing is adding to the bad habits. But like I said, at least you get punished for this, but you're still adding it to bad habits regardless. You're still more likely to do bad habits because you keep doing it, because you're reinforcing habits. You don't want to be reinforcing habits. Whenever you lose based on following your system, you're adding to your good habits. And whenever you win based on good following a system, you're also adding to good habits. So this is the graph here. I want you guys to really drill in this paradox here. Sometimes your losses are for good habits, sometimes your wins are for bad habits, and you want to really identify the difference. I personally haven't done this yet, but I just realized it's something that you can that's really good that you can do is write down actions here that are good habits and write down actions here that are bad habits. Journal down your trades in terms of these 4 quadrants, and also write down what you have done that were bad habits, you know? Write down what you have done that were not following a system and what caused you to think that way. And just reflect. Always be reflecting. So make sure that you're not optimizing for not losing, you're just optimizing for following your trade and following your system. And that's how you become profitable. You become profitable by following your system, not by winning. So overall, we didn't end up taking any trades on the charts. There was also actually a setup on NQ as well during the kill zone. We had this 1 hour fair value gap there, so we could have taken a quick short as it tapped into that 1 hour fair value gap. But again, like, this is all just hindsight, so maybe something like that, targeting this low. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. But I think I wanted to record this bit because I want to say that I'm actually kind of at this point where the past 2 months have been break even, but I just feel it that I'm so close. Not necessarily that I'm getting somewhere, but just I feel like I am breaking through something. Like, I feel like I'm breaking through some sort of layer that is, you know, really close to profitability. And even if I'm not, I just feel so at peace nowadays, focusing on the process, focusing on the journey, focusing on mastering discipline, my strategy, focusing on mastering trading overall, focusing on becoming better at the craft, becoming better at recognizing emotions, recognizing conditions, learning to step away, all these things. And I just feel kind of at peace knowing that I have my priorities right. Even if I mess up, even if I still fall back into the wrong habits, even if I still take the wrong setup, try to predict, overreact, even if I still do all those things, I reevaluate and I reframe my thoughts around it. I reflect on it and I reframe it. And I think that is what has caused me to become way more peaceful, because I have my mindset right, because I know that I am now focused on the journey itself, not really focusing on the money, but focusing on the process. And I know that with time, as long as my mindset is right, as long as my focus is right, with time, I'm gonna get there. Even if I still fall back sometimes, even if I still make mistakes, I'm not going to expect myself to not make mistakes from now on, but I'm going to expect myself to be correcting myself every time I make a mistake, and for me to have the right mindset to focus on the right things so that the mistakes come less. But the reason why I'll still continue to make mistakes is just because it's going to take time for me to reframe those thoughts. So there's no point in trying to beat myself up over making mistakes. But with that being said, I'm still going to try my best to limit those mistakes as long as I keep reframing my thoughts, recentering my focus to the process. And I think also recording these videos really help. Having that discipline to put it up. Having a community also helps. Showing people your losses, definitely that helps as well with accountability and with just like being honest with yourself and like saying it to people like, oh, I messed up here, I shouldn't have done this here. So that definitely helps as well. So because everything has its time, everything is perfect as it is. And I want to leave you guys with a quote, which is, you are perfect as you are, and you can always be better. And what that means is it's a balance of accepting where you are right now and being okay with where you are right now, knowing that everything is at its place. You're learning the lessons that you're supposed to learn. The losses that you're going through is to prepare you for something to learn, and you're going to keep staying here until you have learned that lesson to move forward. And that is okay. You're in a game constantly collecting resources, constantly collecting experience to go to the next level. And understanding that will literally put you at peace, because without collecting experience, without time, without this, lessons, losses, whatever you want to call it, without all these, you will not be able to advance to go to the next level. So I think it's just a really peaceful idea to be able to sit here and be like, you're perfect at exactly where you are, and you can also always improve. There's always going to be space to improve, and I think this comes back to being humble. This comes back to having a mindset of a student and not thinking that you have mastered anything, because I actually don't even think you can master anything in life. I think you can become a really good trader. I think you can become a really good anything, but I don't think there's a place, I don't think there's ever a state where you can say you have fully mastered something. I think so. You're perfect at exactly where you are, and you can always improve. And I think the quote is with an and because it's not contradictory. It's trying to say that they both coexist at the same time. You are both perfect right here, and there is also room for you to grow. And so with that, that's it for this video. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.